Today, I'm going to buy a cheap car from the auctions to uncover the hidden truths behind what it's really like to buy a car sight unseen.
You f***ed up.
You may think these auction websites have some bargains to bid on, but you can just as easily end up with a lemon. I go to the auctions every week to look at cars that people bid on sight unseen, but this time it's my turn.
Today, I'm going to take a $1,000 risk and purchase a car I've never seen before. I could either get a really good deal or just as easily end up $1,000 poorer.
Tens of thousands of cars get sold every day at the auctions, but do these people know something we don't about these auction deals? Are these cars just pigs with lipstick, or are they actually the real deal?
And this is what I've come up with, but let's go back to the beginning where it all started.
For the longest time, I've been wanting a Commodore, specifically a VT. I don't know why, I just did. I was scrolling one night on the Pickles website and found this absolute mint Bermuda blue VT Executive 50th anniversary with only 133,000 kilometers and what looked to be pretty minor damage. Worst case, I thought I needed to replace a door, fender, and a few suspension bits, but little did I know there was something very sinister hiding behind all that damage. A couple of days passed and I was in the middle of a bidding war with every single wrecker from Campbelltown, but to my surprise, I found out I won this gem for $950 whilst I was at a doctor's appointment. And on the day of my 25th birthday, Peter, Rex and myself drove an hour away to pick up my new to me Holden Commodore.
We're currently about 5 minutes away from seeing the VT for the first time. This is my first ever Commodore I've ever bought. I did have one when I was like 16 years old. I got it for like $500, but I never did anything with it. So this is the first proper time I'm ever gonna own a Commodore. And to top it all off, what's today, Rex?
It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
It's your birthday present.
This is my 25th birthday present to myself. A crashed
Status.
Yep, I've reached UNC status, 25 years of age. But yeah, the rain before was insane. And we're in this death trap, Rex's 80
What do you
series.
mean? This thing's mint.
Yeah,
this thing's
mint.
the best. No ABS, bold tires.
Brand new tires,
Yeah.
all the trailer lights work.
And we haven't even put the car in the back, so we shall see how that goes. But I'm hoping the damage isn't worse when we see the car in person.
I'm hoping the damage isn't worse when we see the car in person.
Because that's the last thing I need. We're rebuilding a VT here, not a Lambo. Unlike regular vehicle auctions, you can't physically go and inspect salvage auction cars in person, as some of the accidents that these cars are involved in can be very graphic and oftentimes fatalities do occur. So these salvage auctions are a massive gamble, as you can't ever know what's hiding beneath the photos online. We were quickly approaching the auction yard, and I'm not gonna lie, the nerves were kinda getting to me. I had this weird gut feeling that the car wasn't going to turn out the way I was hoping it would, but the wait was finally over. We arrived and patiently waited for our forklift driver to bring us the car, and as you can see here, I was bugging. I really didn't want this Commodore to ruin my birthday, but I was still really excited. And when I finally saw the car, the beer goggles went on, and I was just happy to see it and couldn't wait to finally see the car up close back at the shop.
Hang on.
See if the car will start. I don't know if it's going to drive off the trailer, but there's only one way to find out. Yeah, she's proper dead. Proper dead.
Got a spare battery for the VT. Hopefully this one works.
Got a crack in the windscreen.
Yeah, that's from the driver's head.
Yeah, probably.
Oh! Oh! I don't know. Try?
Right,
I think the engine's blown up. It sounds like it's doing a comp test on itself. Ah! Oh, it's going. The hazards are going off, but I don't know. The hazards aren't on. The hazards aren't on, but the lights are still going. Oh, it runs like a clock though.
Look at how many Ks, mate.
Look at that, 130,000. What am I gonna do with this?
Keep going. Yeah, watch me, please. Watch the other side, Lachlan. Go, go, go.
Getting the car into the shop was a little bit of a struggle, as you can see here, but surprisingly the car actually moved under its own power, even though it sounded like it had zero compression when I was cranking it. It took about 10 minutes to move the car into position to get onto my hoist, but we did it in the end.
Yeah, you're good, you're good. Wait. Yeah, now turn this way a bit, tiny bit. Yep, now go back.
Hey, if it drives fine. The Commodore is at the shop, and I have a feeling I'm gonna be very disappointed when I put it up on the hoist and start investigating. But otherwise, it looks pretty good, as long as you don't look on that side. Kind of made a bit of a mess here though.
Go look at the wheel.
Oh, I can see the wheel. Yeah, I can see that.
I think Nathan's got that S chassis lock.
I don't know what the hell is going on here. Why are the headlights like turning on and off instead of the indicators?
Oh, you're gonna kill my AU battery.
So what now? The car is at the shop, so there's really only one thing to do, and that's to completely strip down the damaged parts of the car to see what we're working with. What I discover will ultimately decide this car's fate, but let's admire this piece of Aussie history before we get started.
So here it is. This is my new to me 1998 VT Commodore Executive 50th anniversary. As you can see, it is mint. It is in perfect condition. Just don't worry about this side yet. We'll get to that in a second. As you guys may know, I'm a Ford guy at heart, but I do love these older VTs. I bought this from Pickles yesterday. This is now the next day. The goal is we want to try and investigate what the hell is going on over here. So as you can see, it's been in a pretty big accident. Mason behind the camera, Mercfab, reckons that the previous owner smashed into a guardrail on the freeway, but who really knows what the hell happens. Let's chuck it up on the hoist and let's see what the hell is going on.
One thing I forgot to mention to you guys is I am planning on turboing this VT. Yes, after all this damage is fixed, this Ecotech will be receiving boost.
All right, so I'm yet to have a look under the car. I literally just briefly took a gaze at what is going on. It's pretty gnarly. This is some heavy duty stuff. As you can see, the wheel is obviously not doing a whole lot because the rack end has just completely come out of the rack. There's the rack, and the rack is also snapped off the subframe, which is good. But otherwise, it looks pretty decent back here. So because this is a 50th anniversary edition, it might have an optional LSD. So that is good if it does have it. So let's see. I'm gonna spin the wheel. Oh no, it's open. That is very open. So, upon closer inspection, oh, oh no.
Remember when I said this earlier in the video?
I'm hoping the damage isn't worse when we see the car in person.
Well, what I just saw was exactly what I didn't want to see, and it's definitely going to throw a spanner into the works.
Mason, what do you think? What did you just witness? What did you just see?
You f***ed up.
Oh yeah, 100%. This is what I just noticed. I don't know if you can see it that well on camera, but I'm about to rip the wheel off and take a closer inspection, but
Should be right, just bog everything. Bog the world?
Yeah,
You won't even know, you won't even see it.
I have a feeling
that this shell might be a Gorner. It might be going back to where I picked it up from, which is a shame. But let's not come to any conclusions yet. Let's rip the wheel off and take a closer inspection at the potential damage.
Weld this back here, and we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. See, look, wheel's already better.
So just weld the rack end back on and then just drive it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, what about all this?
Bog.
Bog.
Just bog it. Just we'll hit this back with a hammer. And just bog it.
I reckon I could fit in there. Like my whole body could fit in
It's
there.
not. It's not a full fist. What's the golden trick? Like the shoe test. Your car's not low enough if you shoot. Like it's not as big as like you can't fit your fist through.
Guard off, guard liner out. Look at the 50th anniversary badge survived. Yeah, it's let's go home. It's pretty.
Look, I've already bent that back.
Mason, that's bad. That's really bad.
Even though my spirits were quite low, Mason and I soldiered on, removing all the damaged suspension and body parts to see what we had to work with. Spoiler alert, it wasn't much.
Lovely.
I think that's got a surprise in it. You know, the Kinder Surprise.
Yeah, Kinder Surprise. The actual headlight survived, but behind it, it's all just like cracked. This is all loose, it's all broken off. But the lens is basically perfect. Is this a genuine lens? General Motors. Wow. If only the chassis survived as well as this light. Looks better already. This is when cars were built properly, you see. You can't open fender doors like this anymore on your cars. It's not a thing anymore.
Wrong way.
What do you mean?
We've got to access it from there.
Oh, my bad. Here, let me help you out there. Oh, no, it just made it worse. Oh,
There we go. Maybe.
how good's that?
Like a ball one.
Even when you have accidents in these cars, they make it easy to reach all the bolts. Hey, careful, man. Fuck, it's fucking mint. So now that the control arms and everything that's bent is out the way, it's time to drop the strut. It's currently connected to the brake rotor, the brake caliper, everything. So we're just gonna remove it all at once, and then that'll basically reveal all the mess that's going on with this car. Send it. Whew, that was close. A little bit of a different design to what I'm used to with the whole rubber strut top thing. But definitely a bit of damage in there. Oh, brake just went on me.
Protein.
Yeah, 9.
Everyone's complaining they're not getting enough protein. That's like 27 years of protein on it.
Yeah? I don't think the protein is supposed to go on a freshly lasered eye. That's alright. Should be alright.
At least you'll go back to 20/20 vision.
Since Mason and I took apart the VT, I've had a few days to contemplate what I'm going to do with it, and I haven't really come to a conclusion yet because, as you guys are about to see, the damage is quite extensive and I don't know if this VT is really worth saving. I think the most logical option will be to just get another shell and put this good running gear into a shell with a blown motor. Let me just show you guys what's going on. So this is the wheel well of where the accident was, and as you can see, this right here is the frame rail, and this is essentially the tub. And what you can see in here, that plastic is literally the carpet inside the car. What happened pretty much is whatever they hit made the wheel obviously come off and completely smash into the tub or the wheel well, and it's pushed the floor in on the passenger side. I remember looking through the photos when I was bidding on this thing, and I noticed that the plastics came apart in the interior on the passenger side. Raised my eyebrows, obviously, because it's a bit strange. I just sort of narrowed it down to the fact that it's a Commodore and it's not built the best inside. The plastics probably blew apart when they hit whatever they hit, because with this amount of force, obviously some plastics are going to come apart on the interior. Obviously set the airbag off as well. But so as you can see, this is what I saw in the photos. The side trim and also where the ECU sits on the next to your left foot, and the floor is pushed in. If I show you guys the strut tower, well, that's a whole nother kettle of fish. As you can see, the strut tower has completely come off the upper frame rail. There's a lot of damage on the shell, and it's such a shame because the rest of this car is so immaculate. It was definitely a one owner Papul spec VT Commodore. Like, there's not a spot of paint fade on this entire car. Not even the roof has paint fade. None of the doors, the boot, the bumpers have a single scratch on them as well. And a bit of a flex here, it's still got its fuel cap. But as you can see, look how clean the rest of the car is. There's that 50th anniversary edition badge there. This thing wasn't even fitted with a tow bar. Just can't get over how clean this thing is. It's such a shame that I might have to scrap the shell because the damage is just far too extensive. The only saving grace I really have about this car is that the damage that was caused isn't really structural, as bad as it looks. This frame rail up here is completely straight. Even the seams, like, they haven't even come apart at the top. And in here as well, the frame rail is basically untouched. It's not kinked anywhere. It's literally just pushed the floor in, as you can see, and obviously a part of the firewall which it connects to, but it is all repairable. But the problem with making videos for a living is that this stuff takes a lot of time and effort to fix, and for me to pump out content for you guys, some drastic decisions have to be made. So as much as I'd love to save this car, if anyone has any suggestions in the comments below as to how I could fix this, or anyone that could fix this like quickly, leave your suggestions down below, because I'm kind of at a loss. I really, really like this car and I want to save it, but I just don't know how that's going to be realistically possible. Give me your thoughts, Rex. What would you do if this is your car? Because as much as I want to save this thing, I don't know if it's possible.
Look, honestly, I'd probably get another shell. This shell is rooted. Like, you've already showed him all the damage and all that.
Yeah.
Look, if it was something a little bit nicer, I'd repair it, but it's a VT.
Yeah, it's a VT at the end of the day. Although it is a very nice VT, it's just a VT.
It's just a VT. Like, if an AU Falcon was like this, I'd scrap it.
Get another shell.
Get another shell. And also, your engine was kind of hesitating when it was starting.
Yeah, but it's fine now. I've started like 5 times since then.
Yeah?
I don't know what that was. Can anyone explain to me what that was? I think one of my mates told me that Ecotechs get a bit angry when they sit for a while, but it sounds mint now whenever you start it. It just, yeah, the compression noises are a bit weird.
Don't the lights keep flickering on and off?
Yeah, there's some wiring issues. The brake lights go on as well as the number plate lights. I reckon there's some funky crap going on with the wiring. One thing I haven't done yet is have a look in the boot, because in the photos, I saw a few things there. Look at that. The key's still intact, and it's the original key. Look at the quality of this paint. It's literally brand new, a mirror finish. But in the boot, we have a dash mat. We have the Herald Sun 2017 Messy Delights, as Gabriel Mercado gives Argentina bragging rights. You know, this just solidifies my assumption that this was owned by an old Greek man, which is good, because look at the condition he left the car in, apart from that.
Look at the condition.
Yeah, apart from that, obviously. But even under here, it's even got a spare 50th anniversary alloy wheel.
Wow.
There's not a single bit of rust in here either. See what I mean, guys? This is why I want to save this car so badly, but I just don't know if it's viable. We got more paper though. 0417, my friend Joe and my friend Mawson, for restoration roof. My parents are ethnic too, so I can make an accent, all right? I'm not being racist, okay? This is my grandson here. They did leave a crunchy still in the wrapper, brand new. We've also got a Turkish Delight still in the wrapper, not even melted. I'll have that later. As you can see, the glove box doesn't open properly, which means there's a lot of damage behind the dash. This car has costed me $949.80 now. We can see the pant size of the previous owner, 88, medium. So he was a fit ethnic man. You can see here, my right foot is where the floor should be, and my left foot is where the floor is bent in. There's a lot of damage behind there, as well as this, which I showed you guys just before. All of this broken plastic where the ECU is. We got to start somewhere, and I think the best place to start is to get this thing off the hoist, put it on the ground, take the door off, rip up the carpet where obviously the footwell is quite literally inserted itself deeper into the footwell, and see what we're really working with, because at the moment it's very overwhelming. I don't really know where to start, but we'll take it off the hoist first and just start stripping it apart.
Getting the VT off the hoist wasn't going to be an easy task, as I literally turned this thing into a tricycle in the last video, where I removed every single suspension component from the damaged side. I had to lower the car onto a jack and basically simulate it having its front wheel.
Either I've got some sort of brain impairment, or the engineers of Holden had one. Can anyone explain to me why you can't unbolt the hinges from the body and you have to smack this pin out? I know most cars have that, and you can take the pin out and drop the door, but what was wrong with bolts? I'm having to use a flathead and a hammer to get them out. And of course I don't give a crap about this door, but when I get my new one and I bolt it on and I care about the paint, how are you supposed to do it without freaking smacking the crap out of it? Don't know. But we'll keep going, seems to be working. Oh shit, fucking hell. All right. One door. Fucking hell, this thing's fucking heavy. Whew.
Next, it was time to take apart the interior to reveal the damage that was inside the car. I removed all the plastic trims, including the glove box, to try and reveal as much damage as possible, as this was going to be crucial in deciding how we were going to repair the VT.
What is this car, man? So now I can show you guys a little bit more of the damage inside. Now I've got the glove box out the way. I've got this broken side trim out the way as well. So as you can see, the ECU is very much on the piss. The impact managed to shift the ECU towards the back of the car. And as you can see here, it's bent the bracket. I don't know what this is for. I think it's probably to hold the ECU on. But I'm about to lift the carpet up and see the extent of the damage that's going on here. All of this, like behind the glove box, was all broken. So it's not really giving me high hopes for the fact that I was planning on not pulling the dash out, but now I might actually have to pull the dash out. And if it's gone that far, yeah, it's a big job, big job. But let's see what under the carpet looks like. I've just been taking the inside apart. The whole glove box area has been taken out, side trims, and you can see the damage from the inside right there. That is the firewall that's actually come apart from the rest of the body. That big crater looking thing is all the seam seal that's cracked off, and this side of the car has basically separated from the firewall. So the more I dig into this thing, the more damage I find, and I really had my hopes up with this thing, you know, keeping it and fixing it because it is so nice, as everyone keeps saying in the comments, but I'm really starting to doubt the decision now.
My ownership of the VT thus far has been an absolute roller coaster of emotions, from wanting to keep it and fix it to then finding more damage and seriously contemplating sending it to the wreckers. I needed a miracle to happen at this point.
Well, I managed to get the carpet out, so let's see. Whoa. Holy crap. What the hell is going on here? The sound deadening crap underneath the carpet has all been torn to shreds as well. Oh, that did not sound good. It's all just broken apart as well. This is a very interesting piece of insulation, I must say. A bag full of styrofoam, but it has now revealed the flaw. There it is, guys. That is the very, very bent floor. So that is the outside of the car right there. As you can see, there's light shining through. I can almost poke my finger through it, but yeah. Yeah, it's completely split the floor at the bottom here as well. It's some heavy duty stuff. It's also bent the floor up on this side too. Completely split the floor from the frame here as well. So like I was saying, the deeper you dig, the worse it gets, honestly. Very not ideal, I must say. All right, so I'm about to get Rex's reaction. It's definitely a lot worse on the inside, and you're about to see.
I'm worried. I'm scared this car's been nothing but bad news since you bought it.
Yeah, it's been a bit of bad luck, not gonna lie.
Oh, holy hell. Oh, Jesus. That's some solid metal, bro. Hang on, 2 feet.
Yeah?
Yeah, this is cooked.
Someone said that you were jealous in the last video. Are you jealous?
I'm jealous because it's a freaking VT, mate. VT Commodore. VT Commie. But I'm not jealous because these things are built like absolute dog shit. Like, what is that? You can't even unbolt the hinges?
Yeah, you can't unbolt the hinges.
No, that's just...
You have to knock these out.
And there'll be some, you know, person in the comments that's like a Holden enthusiast. Oh, but it's better, Bruz, 90% of the cars that I've worked on, you can literally unbolt the door. Like, what is going on here?
At this point, I was still unsure whether or not I was keeping the Commodore, as the damage was even worse than I initially thought, so I decided to clear my head and go to the auctions to see if I could find any replacements for the VT.
We're gonna look around, see if there's anything worth bidding on, so let's go take a look.
Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, at the time that I was filming this, I was basically 100% set on getting rid of this VT. I even had the wreckers booked in to come and pick up the car. I had even contacted a few panel beaters for advice, and they all either said that it'd be a waste of time fixing it or it'd cost too much. But shortly after I got back from the auctions, the miracle I was hoping for finally happened.
You guys really thought I was gonna get rid of this VT? Hell nah. I have some excellent news. So as it's pretty obvious, this car has quite a lot of damage, and as serious as it looks, and as many of you have pointed out, it's really not that bad. There's nothing structurally wrong with the car. It's everything that's just attached to the structure, essentially. So it means that it can be legally and most importantly, safely repaired. And the good news that I have is that I've actually contacted a panel beater friend of mine who told me that he is willing to repair this car. He came over a couple of days ago and inspected the VT, and he said, and I quote, "piece of piss." He said he's seen way worse on VTs. He's repaired Wover VTs, which this thing isn't. It's not on Wover, it's not listed as written off, where it's actually had proper structural damage either to the frame rails at the bottom or the top, the rad support. This thing basically has none of that. The worst is actually the rad support where the tabs for the headlight has been bent back, and that's it. So he's gonna come in a couple of days and start repairing the car, which is excellent news. But there are a few things that I need to do, which he's asked me to do. So let's get on to that.
The first thing on the list was to take the bonnet off, as it would make it a whole lot easier to work in the engine bay, fixing the firewall and the floor. Then it was time to take out the passenger seat and the center console, as that is what my mate instructed me to do, so that we could peel up the carpet and we'll have a full view of the floor and where exactly we need to fix it. He also said that he was going to be bringing dry ice to lift up all the spray-on sound deadener that was put on from the factory.
This was the biggest pain in my ass to take out. Compared to an AU Falcon, this has about 300 screws holding this freaking center console in. Well, at least now The interior is looking quite barren, which means we can peel the carpet up even more and have a look if the damage extends on the floor more than what it presents to be.
Now that the guard, the bumper and the fender liner were all out, Shane was able to properly reference off the driver's side to see what the passenger side where the damage was supposed to look like. Later on, Shane would need to measure up an undamaged VT to make sure the strut towers are all aligned and basically make sure that at the end of the day what he was doing was going to end up square.
So a bit of an update on what's going on.
Shane has basically gone through most of the spot welds, would you say?
Yep, most of them, just a few more under there and just there to release.
Yeah.
The goal for tonight
Is to take this cap off, because what Shane was explaining is that the more you take off,
the easier it is to panel beat.
is that right?
Pretty much, that's it.
This bit is basically off, so it's all just going along here, drilling all that out. All of this is basically done, and you're just chiseling.
That's it, relieve the tension, and once you relieve the tension, then everything will relax and be able to...
Falls into place.
Pretty much, panel beat straight. Okay, that's go off there.
Almost there, 6 spot welds to go.
So close. At this point, I was getting a little nervous because although Shane could basically fix anything, it was more of the question of how far we'd go fixing this VT, and I was really hoping that we wouldn't find more unexpected damage behind that rail cap.
There you go, one skin. Panel beat that up, but see what we're working with now.
Yep.
So what's the plan of attack now?
So now that everything's single layer, that's actually the inside of the car now. So now I can actually start pressing that across, panel beating this up to where it needs to. Now that this here, I'll actually split the spot welds along that seam too, because then it's just single layer, which I can then panel beat all that section out, then bring the actual wheel well itself, or floor well, whatever you want to call it, back out to suit. Probably going to remove that panel there first, because that's a thicker, more structural joint, and then from there, and we're good.
Sweet.
So Shane has now left us for the day. He's got other cars to build, not just his VT, but it is time to address one of the other bigger issues on this car, other than the obvious body damage. Over here, we have an engine brace. It's missing the hooks, so I've come up with ratchet straps. And what we need to do is we need to pull the subframe and the steering rack out of this car because they're very broken, and I'm about to show you guys. And when you remove the subframe out of the car, obviously there is nothing supporting the engine, because in a car like this, the engine mounts bolt to the subframe. So let's send this thing up in the air and I'll show you guys what's going on. All right, so this is what is going on with the subframe. So you'll see that the bolt has ripped out of the subframe. Can you see that? So under here, you'll be able to see that the bolt has physically ripped out of the subframe. So this subframe is completely useless, as well as the control arm that got sent back this way to actually tweak the whole subframe. And also the steering rack is about to snap off as well. So this whole subframe is a write-off. It needs to come off. The steering rack needs to be replaced because the rack end snapped out of the steering rack. You can just replace this bit, but I don't trust any of these components that were on the side of the accident. So it's easier just to replace it all. Luckily, this is a VT at the end of the day, so it's very cheap to replace all these parts. Let's get cracking.
Removing subframes is a fairly simple job, but with every new car you work on, you do tend to miss a few things. But basically you have to remove anything holding the subframe to the body and the suspension components, like engine mounts, control arms, and sway bars.
All right, everything is disconnected from the subframe, so the last thing to do is loosen the subframe bolts. The engine mount bolts are out. I've disconnected the lower control arm and the sway bar from the strut, so theoretically, it should come out now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stand here, Rex is gonna loosen it, and because most of the weight is at the back of the subframe, it should hopefully not tip.
And once all those are removed, you are then able to basically drop the subframe. And with the help of my engine brace, it made sure that the engine didn't fall on top of me. And before Shane came back to do more bodywork, I had to go and forage for some replacement parts.
This is the Nathan Pagan curse. I'm on my way to the wreckers to grab a few things. Every time I go to the auctions or I go to the wreckers, it's windy and it's raining. And that's exactly what it is right now. But anyway, we will grab as much stuff as we can. We need a front bumper, a passenger side guard, door, and a subframe, and a headlight, and a couple more things that I can't remember at the moment. Hopefully the weather clears up by the time I get to the wreckers. Going to Harvey Wreckers today. In the AU, of course. Trust getting parts for a Commodore and going to the wreckers in a Falcon. But anyway, we are about a minute away, so I'll see you guys inside. This is the first time I've ever come to the wreckers looking for Commodore parts. It feels weird. It's always been Fords. I've come here for a Lancer as well when I had my CE, but never for a Commodore. So I'm looking for a specific Bermuda Blue VT Executive, and hopefully it's all good. This is the only VT that's Bermuda Blue that's in decent condition in the whole of Victoria that's at the wreckers. So hopefully it hasn't been absolutely ran through by everyone else. Just bumped into one of you guys. Trent, shout out to you. Thanks for coming up and saying hello. But this is the VT in question. As you can see, it's, you know, basically every single part apart from the door and the subframe has been taken off. So the guard's gone, the bar's gone, but this door looks like it's in pretty good nick. It's also Bermuda Blue. Unfortunately, I can't take this off myself. It's way too heavy, and also I don't want to risk damaging this door because these pins are a bit of a nightmare to take out. Shane does have the special tool, but unfortunately he can't make it with me today, so I'll probably just have to come back another day and grab it. But a bit of an oversight on my part. I need to take the subframe out. As you can see, the motor is still here, so not very ideal. Let's see if I can figure something out. So the way they set cars up here at Harvey's is they literally put the stand contraption on the actual subframe itself. So I think I might leave it for the meantime. But I did grab a passenger side fender liner. My one was obviously very destroyed. So there you go. I'll take that. Thank you very much. I'm actually going to go to Jolly's now, because apparently they literally put a Bermuda Blue VT in stock last night. So I'm gonna go there and see if I can grab the guard off it. And then when I have a friend to come with me, I'll grab the door and I'll grab the subframe. Let's go to Jolly's. Currently driving on the Eastlink from Harvey's to Jolly's. Last time I was on the Eastlink in the AU blew a heater hose and it left me stranded. I had to get my mate Peter to tow me back. And the reason I was on the Eastlink last time is because I actually bought another car. Yes, there is another car that came up for sale and I could not resist not buying it, and all will be revealed soon once the Commodore is more finished. So for everyone asking where the EF is, the EF is basically done. It needs wiring and it needs the bonnet, the guard and the bumper put back on. That's it. At the moment, my mate Ollie, who is also my auto electrician, he is finishing his uni finals, his uni exams. After the 14th of November, he's gonna go full steam ahead remaking the wiring loom for the EF. So everyone asking me, Nathan, where is the EF? Oh, Nathan, finish one car before you start another one. Oh, is this car gonna not be finished like the other one? It's all very funny, I get it. There's nothing I can do about it. Ollie is the wiring guru. He is getting onto the wiring. So as soon as that's done, the EF will return back to the channel. Don't you guys worry. All right,
we're at Jolly's right now. Pretty good condition Bermuda Blue VT. I'm gonna take the guard off it because I found someone on Marketplace that has an even better condition VT. So I'm gonna take the rest of the parts off that. That means I don't have to roll on the ground, taking the subframe out here. So gonna take the guard off. Might take the headlight too. Looks like it's in pretty good nick as well. Let's get started.
So now that we are back from the wreckers, I can't actually bolt any of the stuff that I got from the wreckers on the car because Shane still needs to come back and finish up this side. But what we can do is attack the sump gasket because it looks like it's leaking a little bit. And anyway, it's a bit of preventative maintenance, which you have to drop the subframe for to do. So I figured while it's out, I may as well do it. So I'm gonna take the sump gasket off, and then hopefully next week, I'm gonna pick up the rest of the parts for this car, and it should be done next week, I'm hoping. Let's get onto that, and then we'll see what else we can do.
Taking the sump off an Ecotec is fairly simple. You have to remove the starter motor, remove the standoffs that attach to the sump for the bell housing to bolt onto, as well as undo a few bolts holding some wiring in place. But once that's all off, it's just a matter of undoing a million 10mm bolts and the sump can come off.
That is the easiest starter I've ever done. So in the accident, another thing got damaged, and that is the engine mount. And as you can see, that is supposed to be straight, and it is anything but straight. So while I'm here, not only am I replacing the sump gasket, but I'll also do the engine mount, and I believe that's, as far as I know, that's about it. So I'm gonna continue taking everything off. There's just a couple of little brackets I have to take off the front. We should be ready to take the sump off.
Wow, cars! Whoa! BT Commodore!
Grab myself a brand new sump gasket right here. I like these a lot better than the Intec ones because it's metal and it's rubber too. There are a couple of spots you have to put RTV where the front cover sits and also where the rear main plate sits as well. So I'm gonna do that. I've just cleaned up the sump, and I've also cleaned up the block, and this is, I've never seen inside an Ecotec before, but I can imagine that this is a very, very clean Ecotec. It definitely does show that it's very low kilometers, 130,000. So that's very nice to see that it's been looked after. I'm gonna chuck that gasket onto the sump, put a little bit of RTV on it so it doesn't fall off when I try to put it on, and then I'm gonna put it in the car.
I applied a little bit of RTV onto the surface of the sump so that when I lifted it into the car, it wouldn't move around. Holden made it really simple changing the gasket on these things. There's really not much to it, and luckily the whole job was done in about 30 minutes. And yes, before you guys scream at me in the comments, I did clean the sump as much as I could.
Check this out. Over the past couple of days, I've left Shane to do his own thing. I didn't want to bother him with the camera. I respected his time and the fact that people like Shane don't come about often. And he came up with this, and it looks spectacular. So obviously this is far from finished. This whole cap is still off because we can't put it on until this thing is off. And I actually made a mistake with this engine brace in the last video. Turns out when you take the outside cap off, this thing kind of loses structural rigidity. So that's exactly what's happened here. It's sort of bowed in, but Shane has assured me that it's no problem. I mean, that cap already has to be fixed up, has to be straight and whatnot. But what Shane has been doing over the last few days, he has been using the slide hammer heaps and heaps. So he's been welding, pulling out, welding, pulling out, and it's just been a continuous process. It's going to be sealed up just like the rest of the car. It's going to be undercoated. It's going to be painted Bermuda blue as well, without clear like it's supposed to be. Without Shane, this would not have been possible, and his VT would not have been given a second chance at life if it wasn't for his help. So thank you very much, Shane.
So now that Shane finished all the bodywork in the wheel well, it meant that I could start the painting process, which started with the special rust-proof copper weld-through primer. So this copper weld, is that what it's called? Copper weld through primer?
Copper weld through primer.
So what's the actual like purpose of it?
I mean, it's good, obviously you can weld straight through the stuff, but the main reason I use it, it's just good for rust, anti-rust properties. Just for any corrosion at the end of the day, I could have just used primer, but that's there, we had it, it works very well.
So what's the next step now?
Next step now is start and put some seam sealer in all the edges, where all the factory spots are, and go from there. And then from there, underbody coating, and she'll be ready to go.
Just make it look factory.
That's pretty much it.
And hopefully it should look basically the same as this. It's never going to be the same as factory, but considering what it used to look like, it's 9-day difference.
Once Shane and I finished the painting and underbody coating process, it was then time to grab my brand new secondhand subframe and install it. And while I still had Shane, we decided to take a quick trip to the wreckers to grab a couple of body panels that needed to be welded to the VT.
Back at the wreckers again, this time with Shane, because we're going to do a bit of drilling, a couple of the bumper brackets and headlight brackets. And then after this is done, I'm sure you guys saw just before in the other clips, it's basically all complete. Go up to this VT. I was here last week. Let's see if anyone's taking anything off it. Oh, yep. Someone's taking the door. So I took the guard off this one.
You need this.
Yep. So as well as a couple of the brackets here that we need, my car, as well as the sump that was leaking, the oil pressure switch is also leaking. And luckily, this thing has a brand new one. So I'm gonna take that while Shane's drilling out a few things. Actually a Ford boy at heart as well, like all of us. What's this? This is your late father's
BFXR8.
BF. Is it
BA? Sorry.
BA Magnet.
Magnet U.
With the T56. I mean, it's pretty cool. I've never been in a V8 Falcon before, so it's pretty cool. I do kind of prefer like Commodore LS's compared to these Bosses because they're just really complicated.
The Boss is a better designed motor in the way of quad overhead cam, but an LS is, it's proven at the end of the day. Pushrod V8 works. They've had all these years to master it. It is a top motor.
Yeah. Like it's cool to show off what a quad cam can do, but at the end of the day, like, isn't LS better? Technically,
yes.
On paper, no, but in practice, yes. But still, cool. Love it. So, but now we're gonna go back and work on a shitty Commodore.
That's it. Enjoy.
While Shane and I were out of the shop, also picked up a couple of engine mounts. Already got one fitted to the car, but I noticed last night that one was, the driver's side one was sagging a bit. So we got brand new engine mount, gonna chuck that in. Got the subframe just there, put that in, and then once the subframe's in, we're then able to unhook the engine off the engine support beam. So yeah, it's all coming together. And then tomorrow, Shane should finish up on that cap that was drilled out, and then it's just up to me to bolt on all the panels. So let's get on to that. So it's the next day now. Shane is back again, and it's all about finishing touches today. So over here, this is the sort of headlight bumper bracket thing, and in the accident, it got pushed over. So as you can see, it's a bit folded over. So the goal today is to put this cap on and also to pull that out. And then it should be done. Shane's gonna use his slide hammer right here, weld onto this, and then hopefully pull that out, and it'll look just as good as that in there.
Decent enough.
For a VT, it's definitely decent enough.
That's it. So yeah, weld that on through these little existing holes, which are gonna get plugged up anyway. And then from there, I'll be able to tug on it, break the welds off, and good to go.
After Shane did a little bit of metal persuasion, it was finally time to get the last piece of the puzzle on. And that was of course the outer skin of the upper frame rail. It was then welded in by both Shane and I, and then linished so that all those welds came out crispy clean.
So now that Shane has left, I have the task of getting all of this bare metal painted, because if we leave it untreated, it's just gonna rust. And although Shane did a fantastic job linishing everything, welding it, and me a little bit as well, I hopped on the MIG a little bit, but we need to seal this up because it is going to rust if we don't. I cannot believe how far this car has come since Shane first got to it. All of this was just completely crumpled in, as you guys know, but now Shane has basically molded it to factory specs, as good as this car can get. Now, obviously, it's not factory, it's never going to be factory, but at the end of the day, is this structural? Yes, it is. It's done properly. It's been cut where it's need to be cut. It's been pulled out where it's need to be pulled out, and welded, obviously. And it's done as properly as possible. Now, everyone's gonna have a differing opinion to what their properly is to somebody else's, but Shane has been doing this for over 20 years. So he knows what he's doing, and he's done many, many cars. So I'm gonna start primering this. I already bought some Bermuda blue paint, so I'm gonna paint this up, get the door on, get the guard on, bonnet on, headlight, front bar. Let's get started. So as you can see, this is all painted. The strut tower's painted, all up in here. This has all been sound deadened, and it's had some rubberized spray on it, and whatever this is that Shane left me, underbody coating, bitumen. So I chucked that on, and then I used a sponge to simulate more of a factory look. And I think it looks pretty decent. I mean, it's not perfect, but it definitely will do the job. Rex and I chucked the door on. This door, I must say, not good, not a good door. I don't know why, maybe you guys can tell me, but this is different to the other side. And also, this is missing the rubber trim that goes along here. So I don't know, maybe it came off an Acclaim or something, not an executive, that's for sure. And the one on my door is completely ruined, so I can't use that, but I can always go to the wreckers and grab another one. But now it's time to put the fender on. If I thought the door was bad, wait till you see the fender. When I took the fender off at the wreckers, it was raining and I couldn't really tell the color of it or the condition of the paint, but it is very, very subpar. So right here, you can see the absolute 10 out of 10 job that someone did painting this thing. There's paint chipping off, there's clear coat flaking off as well, and there's overspray around the rubber grommet for the aerial. So this will get me by for the meantime, but it looks like someone used the paint roller on this thing. Quite literally, it is the worst paint job I've ever seen. As you can see, the guard is on, the passenger door is on, and it is currently 12:30 in the morning, and I've still got a few hours to go. It's currently Saturday morning. This video needs to be up tomorrow, and I haven't started editing it, and the car's not done. The next morning now. I was at the shop till 1 in the morning this morning, but now we're back again because the Commodore is looking like a car again, and that is excellent. Now, unfortunately, due to the fact that this is just a VT, people don't really look after these cars that well, at least as well as this car was looked after, obviously, before it was crashed. So I'm a little bit unhappy with the quality of panels that I got. I bought all of them in the rain, they look pretty good, but now, as you can probably see, the front bar has a heap of hairline cracks in it, in the paint. right here as well, along here. And this fender is just absolutely shocking, as you can see up here. But at the end of the day, the car is almost complete. I picked up a few more parts today, still missing a few, need to do one last wreckers run. We need to get this side of the suspension assembled, chuck the coolant tank in over here as well, and a couple of little bits on the engine too. And once that's done, I can put the wheels on and drive out of here, which is really exciting, and I'm keen for that.
As you can see, the Commodore is looking more and more like a car by the minute. Obviously, last night we put the guard on, put the bumper on, that guard on as well. Both fender liners are in, and there's the damage as well, well, lack of damage. But I'm loving how this car is progressing. Still running very, very short for time, but it's looking pretty good. I just buttoned up everything in the engine bay. So the airbox is on, the MAF is on. I put the coolant bottle in as well. That's full of coolant / rust and a bit of oil because the valley gasket is slightly gone. The engine has oil. I put a brand new oil pressure switch in. It's also got brand new engine mounts. On this side, the suspension is all put together. It's got brand new end links as well from Nolithane. They're very fancy, they're like curved as well. It's got a European bend in it. But on this side, you might notice that there is no suspension. There's only the knuckle and that's it. And obviously the sway bar link just hanging there. And that's because obviously this is the side that was damaged, and the shock that was on this side, as well as the shock mount, this is completely rooted. All the bearings fell out of this. So unfortunately, I have to wait till tomorrow till I can go to an auto parts store and grab another one. But I got a brand new shocker right here, ready to go. Just a cheapie, you know, it's just stock suspension, doesn't have to be anything fancy. But yeah, this shock, you can't really tell on camera, but it is very bent. This sway bar end link as well, it's supposed to be straight, is bent. So have to wait till tomorrow to do that. But after that, I can put the new shock in, bolt everything up, chuck some wheels on it, and then we can take it for a drive. There's only one thing that I'm missing, and that is the brake line, which unfortunately I had to cut, but there is a screw in the end of it and I've made sure it doesn't leak. So we might be driving around with only 3 brakes, but that's okay. Catch up again in the morning. All right, I have to be a bit quiet because Rex is also recording a video. The Commodore is basically done. Like, I can drive this out of here now. Got the new shock in, got new sway bar end links in. Now it is time to chuck the wheels on, connect up the battery, check the oil, and we're ready to start it up and drive out of here, which is really exciting. Been a long time coming, like 3-4 weeks I think it's been, of this car just sitting on the hoist, but now it is basically all done. Couple of things I forgot to get from the wreckers, like a brake line, but I've got that plugged up on the other end so I can still use the brakes. So we'll only have 3 brakes working, but that's okay. And obviously, as you can see there, the indicator and the side skirt isn't on, but I have to do that off the hoist anyway. So the main goal for this video was to drive it. So let's go do that.
It might not seem like it to you guys, but this Commodore has been an absolute mammoth amount of work. From countless hours of panel beating, to driving around Melbourne collecting replacement parts, as well as things just not going to plan, had me pretty stressed out, and it was all coming down to this moment here. But would the car even drive after this amount of work? Was all of this work even worth it? Well, I was about to find out very shortly as I attempted to drive this thing for the very first time.
All right, I'm about to connect the battery for the first time in a very, very long time, probably about 3 or 4 weeks. The lights are still going to be flashing, obviously, because the airbag's gone off. But I want to see if this thing starts after all the work that I've done. Because not only have I done body work, suspension work, but also engine work with the Sump and all of that. So, oh wow, I got LED on that side. Might need to top up power steering as well because we swapped the rack over. First start. Smooth as butter. Perfect. The driveway is now clear and it's time for the Commodore to drive out. Now I did notice a bit of a puddle underneath the car. I did spill a little bit of engine oil when I was topping up the motor. It could also be the power steering rack.
Don't know, but we're not going to drive very far. We're just going to putt around the car park, maybe take it on the road slightly, but let's see how this goes. Let's see if it drives.
Might get trouble.
Yeah, we've got brakes.
It's not gonna ride it off.
We're driving. All right, we're officially driving. Look at that. There's something very wrong in the suspension. We'll worry about that another time. Wow. I'm just gonna buy some temporary registration for it and we'll drive it up and down the street and that's it. That's all I wanna do. This car has come such a long way since I first got it like a month ago. It's gone from completely fucked to now driving under its own power and more or less with like little to no issues. Other than this, I'll show you guys this. Film the front right wheel. Ready? Yeah, so we got on-the-fly caster adjustment. Shane did tell me that one of the radius arm bushes was completely flogged, but I didn't think it would be that bad. So that's just one more thing I have to address. Pop a new windscreen in it as well, and then obviously put the interior back together, and then she'll be all sweet. It'll have a running, driving VT. Back at the wreckers again with Shane. Shane can't get enough of me. But we're back at the blue VT because it is time for a few finishing touches. Obviously the bodywork is all good, but we still need to grab a few things that got damaged in the accident, such as a driver's side airbag. Definitely need that. And a little trim on the side where the ECU goes. So I'm gonna start taking that apart really quick because it's starting to rain. Luckily, it's just a T25 security bit. T30 actually. Oh yeah? Beautiful, look at that. Same color and everything.
So a lot of the times brake lines get it nice and tight on there so it's not half hanging off. And then shock it. Yep.
There you go.
Shock treatment.
Shock treatment. More shock treatment.
Shock treatment. Best way when something's loose.
Yep. Just grabbing a few last bits from another car. This is the haul so far. Got the side trim, got whatever this is, airbag, brake line, ECU tray. But look at this VT. Look at these mods, man. Never seen that before. I don't want to stereotype VT owners because I own one now, but that is right on par with what I was expecting. So Shane and I are back from the wreckers, and if you guys remember this in the last video, then you'd know that that is a big problem and we need to fix that. So ironically, it's actually on the driver's side. Obviously this subframe that's in the car now got pulled out of an unknown kilometer VT, and obviously the radius arm bush is completely toast. So luckily we've got my mint, well not mint, but low kilometer subframe here. I'm just gonna swap that whole thing in.
There we go, decent.
So it's this one, right?
Yep, still in very good condition.
Beautiful. Well, this thing only has 130,000 kilometers on it, so I don't know how many this thing had, this subframe, but I was fully planning on buying a whole new bush kit, but luckily don't have to. So while Shane's doing the caster arm bushes and the caster arm on that side, I'm gonna whip this wheel off and chuck the brake line in that we just got from the wreckers. All right, well here's the bush. You reckon you press that out with your hands?
Close to. Yeah, it's not the best.
No, that is proper flogged. Yep. No wonder the wheel was moving that much. I really didn't think it was that bad. Shane did warn me though. Compare to pair. That's the flogged.
Snug one, nice and tight one.
Yeah, you don't want your holes to be loose, do you?
Not at all.
No, it's not fun, is it? Now this car is somehow a parts car. Alright, time to sort this mess out. The new airbag. Look at that. You guys like my styrofoam in the bag? Classic fucking Holden shit.
Get the carpet out of the way.
Well, that's how we know that Shane's molded the floor correctly. The styrofoam in the bag tells 1,000 stories. All right, let's get this steering wheel airbag off. Interior is coming together nicely. Got the new airbag in. Shane's just working on the whole glove box and carpet situation. But yeah, this car's progressed quite a lot. I'm very happy with the progress. Just got the brakes bled up as well. And what else do we do? The caster arm, that's all done. So it should drive mint. When I drove it around yesterday, it felt really smooth. The gearbox, the engine felt really healthy. So yeah, maybe I'll keep it as a little cruiser, but gotta see.
Now, as you can see, the car is basically done. Like, the interior is done, as you just saw. The bodywork is done. There's only a couple more things that Shane wants to do to align these panels a bit better. But now there's a little bit more engine work that needs to be done, which I wasn't planning on doing, but I figured I may as well do it. You know, it's giving the car the best chance of survival. And that is, of course, this. Now, if you don't know what this is the notorious inlet manifold gasket, which fails on these and it ends up mixing oil with coolant or vice versa. So what's going on with this thing is exactly that. Now, it's not too bad now, but when I first bought this car, this cap was covered in sludge and it's just starting to go on this thing and I feel really bad leaving it like that. So I may as well do it. So let's get onto that.
Now, this was my first time doing a valley gasket on an Eco, so excuse me if I did some things the wrong way. But the first thing I removed was the alternator to free up some room before I got onto removing all parts of the intake plenum. If you didn't know, the Ecotec and the Buick was originally designed to be used in a front-wheel drive car in America. So when Holden decided to slap one into a Commodore, they really overcomplicated everything, hence why the intake plenum comes off in 3 parts. But once I took all the plenum parts off and freed up all the coolant components in front of the motor, it revealed the intake valley, which had definitely seen better days.
So as you can see, both the upper, middle plenums are off. I'm just taking this off, which has now freed up the little pipe that goes into the thermostat housing, which then goes into this plenum thing, the lower plenum. Once this is off, I can lift this up. I've already undone all the bolts and hopefully it should come off no issues. But I have noticed a lot of those bolts have been contaminated with oil and coolant. So that would indicate, yep, that's definitely leaking. So let's get this off. And of course, instead of pulling the nuts off, it's pulling the whole stud out with it. And there we are. One, whatever the fuck this is.
Do you mean it just catches on that one bolt here?
Yeah, I see what you mean. There we go. Oh, what? Wait up. Yeah, there you go. All right, this is what it looks like. So, as you can see here, there is the problem. There is a lot of oil and coolant mixed there. And then obviously over here is all blown out. Same with this. At the end of the day, it is a plastic gasket, so heat is just gonna destroy over time. Even though this engine is very low kilometers, it's obviously just gonna fail with heat cycles. So a lot of people do upgrade to the metal mace ones, but I'm not gonna bother because this is just gonna be a nice little runaround if I decide to keep it, that is. But yeah, I figured, you know, may as well. It literally looks like a miniature LS. Like even with the whole the lifter buckets here and stuff. Pretty cool. Sweet. That is just straight crud. So Shane just advised me to put some RTV in these corners here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then once we put the gasket plates on, in those corners too. So we'll do that.
So after all the surfaces were cleaned up, gasket maker was applied, Shane put those rubber pieces in, and the lower portion of the plenum was able to be put back on. And then it was just a matter of bolting all the pieces of plenum together, as well as a few various cooling components on the front of the motor, and we were done.
All right, so everything is back together. All the plenum things are on, the accessories are on, everything at the front. Just need to figure this stuff out. So there's obviously a little bit of oil in there. It's really not that bad, but I bought some radiator flush just before I chuck coolant back in it. So I'm gonna put some of this in, run it with just straight water for a bit, let the thermostat open up, and then we'll put some proper coolant in. All right, work is all done. Let's see if this thing starts.
So as you can see, the Commodore is basically done. Well, it's not basically, it is done. It's as good as I can get it. Off camera, I put on the side skirt. Nothing really too crazy as far as I didn't film it, but that's on now. Now, since all the suspension work has been done, over here we got new sway bar end links. We got a new tie rod end. And also, if you didn't see the end of the last video, this radius arm bush was completely munted. So I've replaced that too. So theoretically, the car should drive mint now. I've only really moved it in and out. I haven't gotten the chance to actually drive it on the road yet, but that's what we're gonna do now. First drive. So as you can probably tell, this guard is not the best. I got it from the wreckers. It was repainted by a moron. And in addition to that as well, when Shane was trying to adjust the body gaps a little bit better, he noticed that this guard is also slightly bent. So that's why it doesn't line up properly. This guard, I've just got really unlucky with, and it doesn't fit up properly. But again, it's as good as we're gonna get it. And from like 5 meters away, it looks perfect. So that's really all I can hope for. I've put a lot of effort into this car, and chances are it's probably not going to stick around on the channel, because there's a thing where if you spend more than you earn, you sort of go broke. And if I continue piling money into this thing, that's exactly what's going to happen. So this is basically where it ends for this thing. But of course, because it's so low Ks and it's a Commodore, you know it's just going to start, just like that.
So the last time I drove this car, I had the old blown up airbag, like getting in the way of everything, and the bushes are completely flogged, but now it drives so nice. Considering how bad the damage was on this car, the alignment really isn't that bad, and this is an eyeball alignment. I mean, what can I say? It's a stock low kilometer Commodore. The only problem that this car has right now is a broken windscreen, as you can see there. Not sure why it's on this side, considering the damage was there, and the airbag light, which I need a Tech 2 for, and I don't have. Overall, like, this is the only automatic car that I own. I have 5 cars, and I really want to keep this thing as like a daily, but I just don't need it. Like, I'd love to find a reason for me to keep it, but I just have too many cars. I need to offload this to someone that's going to appreciate it and appreciate the effort that I've gone to make this car like drive this nice. I haven't floored it yet. I kind of want to floor it because I've got an Intec, which is this car's rival. So let's see. I'll put it in power mode. Look at that power. See that? Let's see the power of the Eco. You ready for this? Woo! Look at that. 30 Ks an hour. It kind of moves, sort of.
It's not too bad.
I mean, for having 307 diff gears and a 4-speed auto, it's not bad. And the motor is smooth as butter. I mean, I'd sort of expect that with only 130,000 on the clock. But yeah, honestly, I can't fault how it drives.
Well guys, this is where the journey ends with the VT. As much as I'd like to keep this thing, I have too many other projects planned, and I'd rather this thing go to someone that will really appreciate this car. So thank you all for watching the series, and as always, I'll see you all in the next video.